All right, let's talk about Binance Earn. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what it is, how it works, and most importantly, we're going to get to the heart of the one big choice you always have to make: flexibility or higher returns.
So let me ask you something. If you've got some crypto, what's it doing right now? For a lot of people, it's just kind of sitting in a wallet, waiting for the price to go up. But what if those assets could actually be out there working for you?
Think about it like a regular old bank savings account. Super simple, right? You put money in, the bank pays you a little bit of interest. We all get that. Well, in the crypto world, the basic idea is pretty much the same, but that earning power, we usually call it yield. And yeah, it's a newer landscape for sure, but the potential yields, they can be a lot higher.
And that right there is the perfect lead-in to our main topic, Binance Earn. This is the whole part of the platform that's built for one single reason: to put your crypto to work, to stop it from just sitting there.
Okay, so the first thing to get straight is that Binance Earn isn't just one thing. Don't think of it as a single account. A much better way to see it is like a financial toolbox. Inside this toolbox, you've got a whole bunch of different tools, right? Each one has its own rules, its own potential rewards, but they're all designed to do one thing: help you generate what's called passive income.
Now, if you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, please make it this. Pretty much every single option you're going to find inside Binance Earn comes down to this one fundamental trade-off. It's a choice between two things. How much flexibility do you want versus how much potential yield are you trying to get?
All right, so let's really dive into that. We're going to break down the two main paths you can take, and you'll see how each one sits on the complete opposite end of that flexibility versus yield spectrum.
Okay, path number one. This is all about maximum flexibility. These are the products for anyone who says, yeah, I want to earn some yield, but I also need to be able to get my funds back whenever I want. No questions asked, no strings attached.
And the most popular one here is called flexible savings. And honestly, it works almost exactly like that bank savings account we talked about. You pop your crypto in, you start earning interest every single day, and you can pull it out anytime. It's really the simplest, most straightforward way to get your feet wet.
Okay, so now let's flip the coin over and look at the other side, locked products. And as the name kind of gives away, this path is all about commitment. You're basically agreeing to lock up your crypto for a set amount of time. And in return for making that commitment, you get offered a potentially much higher reward.
A great example of this is something called lock staking. Now, I know the word staking can sound super technical, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. See, certain blockchains rely on users to lock up their tokens to help keep the network secure and process all the transactions. So by locking yours up, you're actually helping the whole network run smoothly. You're contributing. And for that contribution, you get rewarded with those higher yields.
So there you have it, two really different paths, right? One is all about flexibility, the other is about getting a higher yield for a commitment. So let's put them side by side and see how they really stack up.
Okay, and this is where that big trade-off we've been talking about becomes crystal clear. Just look at that flexibility row. It goes from high right down to none. Now look at the potential yield row. See that? It's the complete opposite. It goes from lower to generally highest. The less access you have, the higher the potential reward. That is the core decision you are making, right there in that table.
Now, it is absolutely crucial that we pause for a second here. Because, look, earning yield is great, but it does not protect you from market risk. The price of the crypto you're holding can still go up or down, sometimes dramatically. That price risk is a whole separate thing you always have to keep in the back of your mind.
All right, we've covered a ton of ground, so let's boil it all down to the absolute key takeaways, the things you really need to remember.
So, at the end of the day, what's the bottom line? First, your crypto doesn't have to just sit there collecting dust. It can actually be generating passive income for you. Second, Binance Earn isn't one size fits all. It's that toolbox we talked about, with different tools for different jobs. And third, and this is the big one, every single choice you make in that toolbox comes down to that key balance: flexibility versus potential yield. Which means, before you jump into anything, make absolutely sure you understand the terms, especially if your assets are going to be locked up.
And that really leaves us with one final big question. And this one's for you to think about. When it comes to your own personal strategy, what's more important to you? Is it having that immediate access, that flexibility to grab your funds anytime? Or is it about maximizing your potential rewards, even if it means locking them up for a while? Because your answer to that question, well, that's what's going to guide your entire approach.